In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Core SWX battery, why I didn't get a Sony battery for my Sony FX6, and why I didn't go the V-mount option. Here's the story. The Core SWX is a 98 Wh battery and can be used on the Sony FX6. It also has a P-tap or D-tap port and a USB port to help power other devices that you might have on your camera rig. And what I like about the battery is that I can just run it from the D-tap out the back here and use my Condor Blue cable to then run all the way up to my camera monitor here and then power the monitor that way. So instead of having multiple batteries on my camera rig, I can have a smaller and more efficient setup for my camera rig. The battery also has a power indicator on the front as well, which is pretty handy to let you know if there's battery charge in the battery, and I do find it to be quite helpful, but I have found sometimes that when I do use the battery indicator, it might say that it is fully charged, and then when I power up the camera, it's 3/4 charged, or it's not fully charged. So it really is just an indicator to let you know how much battery approximately there is on the battery. So from my experience, it's not entirely accurate all the time, but it does let me know that if there is no charge in the battery, none of the indicators will light up, but right now it's fully charged, so all the indicators are lighting up. But if there was no indicators lighting up, then I would quickly put it to the battery charger. And that's the next thing I want to talk about. If you're wanting to use these with the Sony FX6 and you've only got the battery charger that comes with the Sony FX6, it's not actually going to charge these batteries. For whatever reason, third-party batteries, from my understanding, don't work on the battery charger that comes with the FX6. So what I've done is I purchased the SWX battery charger, and you can see that on your screen right now. And I was lucky enough to be able to purchase this charger secondhand or used from B&H. So I was able to save just a little bit of money. That's something to consider if you're looking for a battery charger. This is the one that I use, and I can vouch that it works and it does a great job. I also find that using one of these batteries with my FX6 and my Shinobi, I get about 3 hours runtime recording 4K video non-stop. So I'm normally not recording for 3 hours non-stop, so I would probably be able to get a little bit more battery time buttoning on and buttoning off the camera. And sometimes I do turn the camera off from time to time when I'm on a shoot. So I do find that having one of these batteries will last at least half a day with my current setup, powering the camera and an external monitor. And for me, a lot of the time, the projects that I shoot are typically half days. So one of these can last me a day of filming, so 3 to 4 hours. But if I was to shoot for a full production day, so 8 to 10 hours, I would need at least 2 of these batteries. So that's something to consider. If I didn't want to power my monitor as well, that would give me more time using these batteries too, just powering the FX6 straight. So that's something to consider if I wanted to have extra batteries on my rig. So a battery charging my Shinobi and then this battery in the FX6, that will extend my runtime as well. But most of the time I like to have a more simplified rig. So just having this one battery to power both my camera and my monitor is quite helpful for the shoots that I do. So to get one of these batteries, it was 260 Australian dollars. And if I was to then go the Sony option, they're actually quite more expensive than that. I was just looking at a local retailer in Melbourne, and they're selling Sony batteries for 527 Australian dollars, and that's for the BPU 70 battery, which is 72 watt hours. So less capacity than this and twice the price. And also the Sony batteries don't have the P-tap or D-tap out, or a USB out as well to help power other devices. So they're the main reasons as to why I went with these batteries. And so far I have no problems with them. I actually used the same type of battery, but the Panasonic version on my previous Panasonic EVA 1, and I had no problems with that as well. So for me, the Core SWX batteries are great. And finally, why didn't I go the V-mount option? Well, I like the form factor and the size of the rig that I have here, just plugging the battery straight into the back of the FX6. If I was to get a V-mount battery option, I'd then have to get an extra plate to be able to attach to the Sony FX6, and then I'd need the extra battery as well. And it just starts to make the camera rig bigger and bigger. And I really do like the size that this is currently. And I don't really like the idea of just making my rig bigger and bigger and bigger. Although yes, you would be able to put even bigger batteries onto this camera to charge it for longer, but ultimately I don't really need to have 4, 5, 6 hours of runtime at once. Most of the shoots that I do, I'm able to turn the camera off at some stage after a few hours, replace the battery, and there's no problem. And then in the end, it just made more sense for me to purchase one of these. It just goes natively straight into the back of the Sony FX6, and it gives me plenty of runtime for the projects that I'm recording. And that's the video. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel for more videos on video creation and the Sony FX6 in the future.